Gallipoli, the Turkish name is Gelibolu, should not be confused with the town of Gallipoli in Italy. Gallipoli in Turkey is a medium-sized harbour town with a busy ferry port that enables travellers and vehicles to cross over the Dardanelles to Lapseki on the other side. Soon there will be a large bridge spanning the 10 kilometres over the straits, making it the largest suspension bridge of its kind in the world. It should be completed by 2023. Gallipoli gets its name from the Greek word Kallipolis, which means beautiful city. This then adopted the Italian form to become Gallipoli, whereas in Turkish the town is known as Gelibolu. Gallipoli is of course famous due to the Gallipoli campaign of World War I. This video is about the town, the places to see and things to do. We have a separate video that deals with the Gallipoli campaign, and you can access this through the playlist. For those interested in the Gallipoli campaign, there is the Gallipoli War Museum, a private museum that opened in 2007. The museum explains the campaign in detail and the Allied withdrawal, and has weapons, tools and everyday items that would have been used during the campaign. The museum gives you an insight to life in those times from the Allied and Turkish perspective, and it details the role of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk and the British commander of the Allied forces. It is a small museum, but well worth a visit.
Yeah.
All of the battlefields around Gallipoli have been galvanised into a huge national park. This preserves the natural beauty of the area and has prevented the area from becoming too commercialised. Another museum that you should visit is the Piri Museum. It can be found by the fishing harbour, a large tower that used to be part of the fortifications of the town and which would once have run along the waterfront. The museum is actually inside the tower. The Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis lived from 1470 to 1554. The museum houses prints showing Gallipoli from times gone by, but the second floor is completely devoted to Piri Reis, whose real name was Haji Ahmet Muhiddin Piri. You can see why he gets called Piri Reis. He put together a specialist book of maps and charts, a kind of book of navigation called Kitab-i Bahri, which charted ports and cities around the Mediterranean. His maps include one of the oldest maps of America and the New World. I should mention that the town has a tractor museum housing some 60 old tractors collected from villages and towns across Turkey. This is such an amazing museum that we've dedicated a whole video just to this museum. The work that has gone into the restoration of the tractors and to restore them to completely new and pristine condition is absolutely outstanding. The fishing harbour is part of the hub of the busy centre of town with its modern shops and restaurants, and as towns go, it has pretty much everything you would expect of a town this size.
Yani Ezine değil de Kabaklık Köyü.
Kabaklık Köyü.
Yakın. Plaja yakın yani. Güzel orası.
Evet. Zaten bu yaşam sadece sakin yer istiyor.
Vallahi
Çok şükür. Allah'a şükür.
İngilizce biliyorsunuz herhalde.
Ben?
İngilizce konuşuyorsunuz biraz.
Türkçe biraz.
Ya biraz
işte.
çat pat şey.
İnsanların tebessümlü olması, birbirine sempati ve sıcaklık olması zaten denizi bile
Tabii.
denizi sevindiriyor.
Bunu önce çektim ama güneşli değildi. Şimdi yani
Öğlen vakti çok güneş vardı. Şimdi biraz kaybeldi. Yasa inşallah, yasa.
The history of Gallipoli goes back a long way. This area was an important wheat producing region, and its position on the Dardanelles gave it a strategic importance for traffic between Europe and Asia, and of course shipping from Crimea. The Greeks founded several cities along this peninsula, which were then captured by the Persians and taken back by the Greeks. The Romans invaded. Attila the Hun came and went. It was ruled by the Republic of Venice for a short time, and the Byzantines controlled it until 1356, when it fell to the Ottomans. The defence walls had been badly damaged by an earthquake in 1354. So that's a brief potted history. Essentially, it allowed the 30,000 or so inhabitants of Greek, Turkish, Armenian and Jewish origin to live peacefully until the next upheaval of the Crimean War from 1853 to 1856. Next came the First Balkan War of 1912 to 1913, which ended badly for most Greeks, since the Ottoman army destroyed many of the Greek communities in and around the town, forcing many of the Greeks to move away from Gallipoli. Then came the First World War and the Gallipoli campaign of 1915 to 1916, followed by the deportation of Greek residents from Gallipoli and the surrounding area to locations further inland. The Greeks talk about how badly they were treated and how their houses were looted and damaged, but Greece was soon to be at war with Turkey and trying to do all it could to take land from the Ottoman Empire. The Greeks were already seen as being the enemy. Following the First World War, the Greeks invaded and occupied Gallipoli during the Greek-Turkish War of 1919 to 1922. What followed for Turkey was its battle for survival and the Turkish War of Independence. The Greeks failed and Gallipoli was handed over to British troops in October 1922 and then to the Turkish rule in November of 1922. Thankfully, we now live in more peaceful times, and Gallipoli has hopefully seen the last of its wars. Certainly, the Gallipoli of today is a thriving community within a beautiful part of Turkey. Gallipoli has a good sandy beach just out of town, along with its very own Hilton Hotel. The seafront is popular during the summer months, and this modern town has pretty much all you would need for a good vacation, or to use as a stepping stone to explore further afield. Well, that's it from Gallipoli. Be sure to check out the Tractor Museum video and the Gallipoli Campaign and War Graves videos. If you liked this video, please give us the thumbs up, and why not subscribe?